An elderly man walked into a busy city bank one cold winter morning. In his gnarled hands he carried a large heavy sack that looked like it belonged in a faraway time, rough burlap tied with thick rope, worn and dusty. As he shuffled through the automatic doors, a murmur swept through the room. People stopped what they were doing. Some glanced at him with suspicion, others with barely hidden amusement. "What could that old man possibly have in that sack?" whispered a young teller, trying not to stare. The man's eyes scanned the crowded room with quiet determination. No one expected what happened next. And that's exactly why this story matters. His name was Harold. At 78 years old, he was known in his neighborhood as a humble, kind man with a lifetime of stories etched into his face like deep rivers. But on this day, Harold's story was about to touch the lives of everyone inside that bank and beyond. Harold had lived a modest life, a retired carpenter. His hands once shaped beautiful wooden furniture, but now they trembled slightly with age. His wife had passed away years ago, and his children lived far away. The sack he carried wasn't filled with valuables or secrets. It was filled with coins, thousands of them, saved over decades from his small pension, tips, and even the loose change he'd find on sidewalks during his daily walks. You see, Harold had a mission. For years, he had quietly been collecting these coins to donate to a local children's hospital. He knew the hospital desperately needed funds, but what made Harold's gesture extraordinary was not the money itself. It was how he was going to give it. He approached the teller's counter with slow but steady steps, the sack making soft thuds on the tiled floor. The bank employees exchanged puzzled glances. One of them chuckled under her breath. "What is this, a joke?" Harold gently set the sack down and said, "I want to deposit this, every last coin, into the hospital's fund account." There was a stunned silence. The bank manager came over, his eyebrows raised. "Sir, are you serious? This will take hours to count." Harold nodded, a small smile playing on his lips. "I'm patient, and I know every cent counts." As the staff began sorting through the coins, Harold sat quietly in the waiting area. Around him, people watched, some with respect, others with disbelief. One young mother, waiting with her child, whispered to her friend, "He's amazing. Who does this nowadays?" Hours passed, but Harold's resolve never wavered. Finally, when the last coin was counted, the total was revealed. A staggering $12,467.86. For many, it was just a number. For Harold, it was hope. Hope for sick children, for their families, for a better tomorrow. But the story doesn't end there. Word of Harold's act spread like wildfire through the community. Inspired by his generosity and spirit, strangers began donating to the hospital fund. A local news crew arrived to tell his story, capturing the moment when Harold's kindness ignited a wave of hope. The hospital, overwhelmed and grateful, invited Harold to their annual fundraiser. There, as he walked through the wards, he saw children playing, laughing, and healing. One little girl, no older than 6, tugged his hand gently and said, "Thank you for helping me get better." Tears welled up in Harold's eyes. "No," he whispered. "Thank you for reminding me what kindness truly means." Can you imagine how that felt? How one man's small but determined act created ripples that transformed a whole community? But there's more, because kindness always comes back in unexpected ways. Months later, Harold received a letter. It was from a young man named Marcus, who had been one of those children in the hospital. Marcus wrote that because of Harold's donation, he was now attending college, pursuing a dream in medicine to help others just like Harold had helped him. Harold's heart swelled. The sack of coins had grown into a legacy far beyond money. It was the legacy of hope, kindness, and the power of one person to change many lives. So the next time you see an elderly man with a sack of coins, or a stranger performing a quiet act of kindness, remember Harold. Remember that sometimes the simplest gestures carry the most profound weight. If this story moved you, please like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring tales that remind us all of the goodness in the world. And if you've ever witnessed or Experienced an act of kindness that changed everything? Please share it in the comments, because your story might just inspire someone else. And remember, kindness is a currency that never loses value. Stay hopeful, stay kind, and keep watching for our next story, where hope takes an unexpected turn. This story script uses vivid imagery and emotional moments to engage viewers throughout the 5-10-minute video length, with a gripping opening, rising tension, an unexpected but uplifting reveal, and a reflective conclusion encouraging interaction. Would you like me to generate thumbnail text or SEO metadata for this story too?